Assalamu alaikum and good morning. In this topic, the self is presented contrary to the philosophical view, whereby the self is considered as having two components of the body and soul, or the body and mind. Self in this topic is emphasized as social by nature. Beginning from birth, it continuously interacts with its external world that determines what it might be, what it can be, and what it will be. Okay, so the self as a social construct is derived from the idea that society which takes part in its shaping is a social construction. Okay, so the social construction is argue for a merged view of the person and the social context where the boundaries of one cannot easily be separated from the boundaries of the other. Through social interaction and active understanding of the social reality, by collective actions of people living together and the relationships becomes meaningful. So by active understanding, it means that individuals are not only passive participants in their social life. Okay, through language, they privately and publicly utilize or share symbols within their interactions. This creates a pattern that shapes and influences who they are, how they behave and think. So the self should not be seen as static entity that stays constant through and through. Rather, the self has to be seen as something that is unceasing flux, unstoppable, that keeps on uh, accommodating different ideas, okay, or different informations in a constant struggle with external reality, and is malleable in its dealing with society. In 1966, Stephen found it in his literature reviews that the self has characteristics, and these are the following. So we have separate, self-contained and independent, consistency, unitary, and we also have a characteristic of private. Okay, so we can say that self is separate because the self is distinct from other selves, and it is unique and we have our own identity. Okay, so we can for example, the twins. No, we can really distinguish one from the other. Okay, there is a certain gene that we can say that is that differentiates the other. Okay, so that is why the self is separate. Okay, so and the second one is the self is also self-contained and independent because its distinctness allows it to be self-contained with its own thoughts, characteristics, and volition. Its distinctness allows it to be self-contained because of those characteristics, thoughts, and volition. It does not require any other self for it to exist. The third characteristic of self is consistency. It's because it has a personality that is enduring and therefore can be expected to persist for quite some time. It allows it to be studied, described, and measured. So this consistency means a particular self traits, characteristics, tendencies, and potentialities are more or less the same. Okay, so the fourth characteristic of self is unitary because the self is unitary because it is the center of all experiences and thoughts that run through a certain person. It is the chief command post in an individual who all possesses uh, the emotions and thoughts that converge. And then finally, the private is one of the characteristic of self. So each person sorts out information, feelings and emotions, and thought processes within themselves. So the whole process is never accessible by anyone, but only the self. Okay, society is linked to the individual as they are inherently connected and dependent on each other. Society composed of large social grouping sharing in the same geographical territory. This implies that groups who are more or less living together have the same cultures and predisposed to institutions which provide their physical, social, and psychological needs, and which maintain order and values of the culture. So it makes us who we are by structuring our interactions and lay out an orderly world before us. So as a result, no individual is capable of seeing through his or her experiences and the larger society called the sociological imagination, in which society creates opportunities for him to think and act as well as limiting his or her thoughts and actions. Okay, so here are the different sociological theories. Okay, so let's tackle it by one. Okay, so the first one is Looking Glass Self by Charles Cooley. Charles Cooley pioneered one of the most prominent sociological perspectives of the self. He asserted that individuals develop their concept by looking at how others perceive them. Cooley denotes that understanding of the self is socially constructed, and this is done through interaction. Oneself is mirrored from the judgment they receive from others to measure their own worth, values, and behavior. Okay, so the looking glass self has three process involved. No, so we have these steps. The first one is in individual in a social situation imagines how they appear to others. No, so we can really observe this no, during our activity for use to others' eyes. And so I asked you to pass your paper around, no, to the class. No, so we were really very some of you were really excited to know how what are the things that they will be listed on your human figure. No, so because we really want to imagine how these people perceives us. Okay. The second one is individual imagines others' judgments of that appearance. So since you have already presented yourself, you get acquainted with them. Some of you are in the same class, the same department, the same college, or may perhaps been classmates. No, have been classmates to the other subjects. No, so you are able to imagine you're imagining how they uh, perceive you as a in the you how you because of your presentation to the public to them. So you are trying to imagine those judgments you get from them, and you pass a contribution. I mean, the contribution, it's not contribution, but how they describe you as a person. Okay, so you were really excited and kumbaga conscious of what they will be writing all in those in your paper, no? Then the third one is individuals develop feelings of pride and shame in response to those perceived judgments. So you have received all those impressions or descriptions or qualities that they have observed in you. No? So, and the third step is you will develop a pride or shame. No? So whether nakakahiya yung nilalagay nila doon, or you're trying to validate those information that you have received. So you are responding to those perceived judgments. So some of you acknowledge those qualities or those impressions in you of you. No, so or they don't really, they deny, no, some of you denied it, no, kasi that it doesn't really fit them, no, or it's not really true in themselves, no. Okay. Okay, so now let's move on to the second theory on sociological view on self. So we have the self-development by George H. Mead. Okay, similar to Charles Cooley's theory of self, George Herbert Mead also gave emphasis to others' perspectives in view of oneself. So as a prerequisite of being able to understand the self, one has to develop self-awareness. So this derived from looking at ourselves from the perspectives of others. So very similar to the idea of looking glass self theory by Cooley. No? So for example, we put ourselves into like someone's shoes and look at the world through that someone's perspectives. So putting our self to the shoes of others. Okay, so what is the possible feeling, okay, or when you are putting yourself to that person. Okay, so the process only made possible by social interaction. So if social interaction is absent, particularly in one's early experiences, no, according to Mead, he or she will find difficulty in developing an ability to see him or herself as other would see him or her. Okay, so self-development stages by G.H. Mead that has 4 stages. So the first one is preparatory stage. This is the period wherein the child imitate the actions of others. Okay, they particularly in contact with their family members. No? They also have the ability. They have no ability to imagine yet how others see things. No? So they just imitate what they see to their family members, the way they talk, their actions, no, yun siya, no? We really can observe this to the children. No? So, and then second is the play stage. At this stage, the children begin to take on the role of other person by acting out grown-up behaviors, dressing like adults. So, after modeling or imitating actions of other people, so they already they try to this is now the start of taking on the role of other person by acting out acting out grown up behaviors, no? So like for example when they see a TV and talking about this thing, so they will also imitate, they will also try to acting it out that it seems like they are the one who is in that appearances, no? So next is game stage. This is where while children learn out several roles, no? So they try to understand how these roles interact with each other in this stage. So they learn to understand the different complex interactions involving different people with variety of purpose. So they already have the idea that there are different uh, roles that a person perform. For example, as a father, no, so he is also doing his duties and responsibilities, no, in the home at the home. No? So, and then outside the home, they play the role of for example, accountant or a teacher or professional. So, and they are helping the community. They are practice their profession in order to help the people. Uh, okay, so they are doing their vital functions, no, in the society. So the children are able to understand those roles that they play. Okay, so this is the fourth stage of the development stage of GH Mead. Okay, so we have the generous other. In this stage, the children develop, understand, and learn the idea of the common behavior expectations of the general society. So they're able to imagine how they are viewed by one or many. So he pointed out that the self in this stage is being developed. Okay, so even in other theories, no, and researchers, they try to understand the person, no, by digging deeper into the mind. They cannot fully discount the huge and important effects of the environment, no. Uh, the social interaction always has a part to play in who we think we are. This is not just a nature versus nurture, but instead of a nature and nurture perspective. Under the theory of symbolic interactions, Mead argued that the self is created and developed through human interaction. So there are 3 basic reasons why self and identity are social products. So the first one is we do not create ourselves out of nothing. So it is the society who has a great role in creating our foundations of who we are, and even if we make choices, no, so we have our own choices whether we follow it or not, no. So and we still operate in our social and historical context in one way or the other. You may of course transfer from one culture to another, but parts of you who you were still will affect you, and you will also have to adapt to the new social context. So trying to look at your definition of who you are and see where society had affected you. Okay. The second one is whether we like to admit it or not, we actually need others to affirm and reinforces who we think we are. And we also need them as reference about our identity. Okay, so this is really true. No, for example, when we are applying for a job, and then uh, how can we be uh, known by other people? So can we really say that this is who I am? I'm competent. I can do whatever task is given to me. No, so who can affirm that? Who can reinforce that? And it's always the other person, or the or those people who really know us. Okay, so another interesting example is the social media interactions we have. And so in the case of Facebook, there are those who will consciously or unconsciously try to garner more likes and or positive reactions, and that can and will reinforce their self-concept. So it is almost like a battle between who got more friends, more views, and trending topics. So if one says he is a good singer, but his performance and the evaluation of his audience says it otherwise. So that will have an effect on that person's ideas of himself one way or another. Okay, so the third one is what we think is important to us may also have an influence by what is important in our social or historical context. So education may be an important thing to your self-concept because you grow up in a family that valued education. So money might be just important, not to some, because they may have grown in a low income family and realize how important money is in addressing certain needs like medical emergencies. Being a nurse or a lawyer, for example, can be a priority in your self-schema because it is in demand, of course, during your time. Okay, so there are times, however, when we are aware of our self-concept. So this is called the self-awareness. Okay, Carver and Schreier identified two types of self that we can be aware of. So this is very common. A private self, public self. So private self is your internal standards and private thoughts and feelings, while public self is your public image, commonly geared towards having a good presentation, no, of yourself to others. So this is how you present yourself to the people around you, no? So iba din yung private self. So this is like an inner self at saka outer self. Okay? This is how you that you present yourself, no? So minsan sabi nila hindi yung pagpapakatotoo, no? So yung what is the inner self should be kumbaga congruent to your public self. So that is supposed to be. Pero minsan we also have our own thoughts and rationalizing things that we are doing if it's right or wrong. So sometimes there are some confidentials that we really and that we don't have to reveal it to anyone. No, we just keep it to ourselves. No, so that is our private self. Okay, so what other people see is your presentation of yourself to others. No, so that is your public self. So self-awareness also present us with at least three other self schema. Okay, so we have the first one is actual self. This is who you are at the moment. The second is ideal self, who you like to be. Then old self, who you think you should be. An example is that you are a student interested in basketball, but is also academically challenged in your most of your subjects. So your ideal self might be to practice more and play with the varsity team, but ought to pass your subject as a responsible student. Okay, so that is ourself. So you have to pass your subject uh, for you to be called as a responsible student, no? One has to find out the solutions to such discrepancies to avoid agitation, so dejections or other negative emotions in instances, no? However, all three may be in line with one another. Okay, so one of the ways in which our social relationship affects our self-esteem is through social comparison. Okay, we learn about ourselves, the appropriateness of our behaviors, as well as our social status by comparing aspects of ourselves with other people. Okay, so there are two types of social comparison. So we have downward social comparison and upward social comparison. So downward social comparison, this is the more common types of comparing ourselves, the appropriateness of our behaviors. As the name implies, so we create a positive self-concept by comparing ourselves with those who are worse off than us. Okay, so by having the advantage, we can raise our self-esteem. Okay. For the upward social comparison naman is comparing ourselves with those who are better off than us. Okay. So this is different from the word downward tsaka upward. No? So downward is you are comparing yourself to those people who are below, who are whose status is below you. No? Parang ganun. So and you will have this realization na oh, I have these properties, no? So I have all these belongings, or I can provide my own personal needs, no? Compared to those people who are in poverty, no? So parang you're comparing yourself. So and there are people worse than you, no? So yeah, so reality wise, no? So we have to be we have to be careful. We have to be we should have a good treatment. We should be fairly treated, no, those people below you, or when for example there is a uh, when something happens, such as uh, yung na nasalanta, no, you are being affected by some traumatic events, no? So you will not feel so much pain, no, because you're not alone with those crises that you are facing, no? So and mas there are also you might say na mas there are other people na mas maraming nawala ng properties, no, or mas ano yung condition nila mas worse. Okay? So just like sa ground zero, no, so yung mga those affected ng Marawi siege, no, so they lost properties, they some also lost their loved ones, no, dun sa nangyari before, no. So you think of that, no. So kaya it's not it's good to contemplate, no, so that you are not alone, no, so there you are lucky because you survive, no. So and you're also employed and have an income for you to survive. Okay, so next upward social comparison is you're comparing yourself to those people who have better life than you, no. Parang those who have rich people, those who have a many achievements in life, you know, so you're trying to compare it to yourself. Okay, and this can also gives you a motivation in order to work hard more, you know, so that you can achieve your goal. Okay, so next is self-evaluation maintenance theory. This states that we can feel threatened when someone outperforms us, especially when that person is close to us. No? So sometimes when we have a close friend or a sibling, no? So who are of the same level, no? So or grade, for example, no? So we can feel threatened because we are being compared by the people around us, no? So and there's, you know, it creates jealousy, no, or a feeling of indifference na I am not the same with this person, I'm different, no? So parang mas nakakaangat siya kaysa sa'yo, no? So you try to or you are trying to evaluate yourself, no? If you still earn the trust or uh, conform with the group, we are still accepted or belong, no? So we will really have this feeling of threat, no. And then next is narcissism. It's a trait characterized by overly high self-esteem, self-admiration, and self-centeredness. No? So, in this feeling, no, so this also has a negative effect, no, sa ibang tao. No? So, taking care of the image includes the interpersonal relationship. Thus, you try to look for better partners, better acquaintances, as well as people who will appreciate them a lot. So, this makes them a bad romantic partner or friend since you engage in relationship only to serve themselves. So, you feeling na you feel you are superior, you feel like you are superior to them. So, uh, and you only uh, kumbaga, extend your help to those people who are you feel like who have the same rich wealth or intellectual capacity, so uh, so you have this overly rating yourself to the maximum level, Okay, so the self and culture. Self should not be seen as a static entity which remains constant through time. It personally struggles with the external reality and is malleable in dealing with it. So, being an active participant in its social world, the self through interaction is made and remade. So, as it continuously interacts with others, society is continually changing and dynamic. So, thus, self. So, self being endlessly exposed to its social world and subjected to its influences here and there, while the social world is changing and dynamic. Being the same person across time and space, therefore, is illogical. In this perspective, self is considered as multifaceted. Okay, so Marcel Mauss is also another sociologist. With his contemporaries, they claim that society is a result of process whereby actions of human is built upon everyday social continuity. So he asserted that self adapts to its everyday social conditions. So in particular, the behavior of the human groups and the way they perceive themselves in daily life are influenced by their environmental and seasonal variation. So if every day, every day to day is an endless process of actions and exchanges between and among human to sustain their existence and meet their needs. Okay, so cultural identity is intertwined with space and time, taking oneself determined according to its circumstances and context. Various persona can illustrated across culture. In the Philippines, part of the Filipino persona is who they are, is their territory. Okay, so this includes considering their immediate surroundings as part of them. Thus, the perennial tapat ko, linis ko, 'di ba? Naglilinis tayo kasi parang kumbaga it's our responsibility or obligation talaga na maglinis. Dapat ko linis kasi that's beyond it covers our area. No? So that is our area, so it's our responsibility to clean it. So language is an interesting aspect of who Filipinos are. So Filipinos articulates love with the famous phrase mahal kita. So this phrase is translated in English means I love you. Not like unlike in English, no. So the Filipino version of I love you, however, does not specify who the subject and the object of love. So there is no specification of who loves and who is being loved. Now, interestingly, the word mahal in the Philippines can both mean love and expensive. Love is intimately bound with value, while being expensive means being precious. Putting together someone or something expensive is therefore valuable. So someone whom we love is valuable. When taken from its Sanskrit origin, love can also mean desire. Okay? Another interesting facet of Filipino language is it's being gender neutral. Okay? The word siya is used to refer to either a boy or girl. In other languages, specifically English and Spanish, demarcation between male and female pronoun is clear. In English, he is referred to male while she refers to female. El in Spanish refers to male while Ella is referred to female. So as this example depicts cultural divide, it goes to show how one regards oneself differently from others. The language, which has something to do with one's culture, has really a tremendous effect into the crafting of the self. Okay, so self in families, no, every human is born helpless or dependent from the external world. So the first group that one interacts with is, of course, and depend with is the fulfillment of his or her needs is the family. No, as the basic social institution, the family is the primary provider or source of a child's needs. Okay, so if you still remember yung sa first stage, no, of the psychological view, so we are very dependent to our parents, especially our mother. Pinaka earliest period is we are always rely on dependent to our parents. It is also the main avenue for teaching young individuals in the basic things that they need to learn in order to fit in the society. So this also has the capacity to develop or encourage the actualization of one's potential. So these are all made possible by way of socializing, whereby one learns basic ways of living, language, values, no, by way of imitating or observation or teaching by an adult member of the family, such as the mother and the father. So the child learns ways of living his or her selfhood by being with the family. Learning self in the family is conscious or unconscious. If reared with respectful family, then he or she will also grow up respectful. If raised with a conversational family, he also become conversational. No? So ways of living that are explicitly taught are those that basic for the child to learn, such as table manners, speaking with an elder, uh, through rewards and punishment also. Some behaviors and attitudes are indirectly taught to a child. So for example, talking about sexual behavior or how to comfort emotions are internalized by a child through interpreting intonation of voice by adults or of their model in the family. So clearly this point out that becoming an adult who doesn't learn about basic matters such as manners or conduct indicates failure of the family to initiate him or her into the world. So in this sense, initial conception of selfhood for social survival and becoming a human person is learned in the family. Another important aspect of social process within the family is the learning by a gender. No? So gender also partly determines how one sees himself or herself in the world. So through gender is considered as one aspect of the self that is subject to alteration. No? So minsan yung babae nagiging tomboy, yung lalaki naman nagiging bakla. No? So change and development, it is noteworthy that its concept is primarily acquired in the family. So uh, kaya talaga careful yung mga yung kailangan ma-introduce sa kanila yung gender orientation, no? So they will not have a confusion. So in our context, for example, no, husbands for the most part are expected to provide for the family. Exposed to this kind of system, the sons in the family internalize in an inkling to being a future provider, to behave and think like a man. So female members of the family who are mostly exposed to their mother's roles tend to imitate the same mentality of women care providers in the family, according to some uh, feminist, no, idea of Anansi Chodoro, while providing dolls instead of guns to girls, also reinforces, no, the notion of what roles they should take. No? Thus, the kind of self-concept that should they develop.